situation after the 917. He had really good composure and really smart surfing to back it up with a couple 4.7s or whatever 5-point rides to really put that heat out of reach. So Bruce, with really good, as talented as he is, sometimes he'll make that competitive mistake, which has been the difference of him going for the world title or being ranked right around the number 10 spot. If he can compete that smart, Bruce is the type of guy that can contend for the world title without question. He has the ability.
Yeah, it's crazy how versatile the guy is. I mean, think about it. He wins, the Eddie Aikau, and then he does 5-foot airs. And
out here, when it's on those onshore sections, anywhere in the world, the guy doesn't have any weaknesses. As now we look on the screen here, we are into heat number 3. Of course, that's C.J. Hobgood from the USA. East Coast against Victor Ribas from Brazil. And Victor had a great heat this morning, Dino. He had that 9-point wave down on the end section. Of course, CJ won his opening round heat. That was the heat that Slater missed and was actually in the heat. CJ won that heat to get all the way to round 3. So CJ hasn't surfed a heat in about a week. Victor already had a heat this morning. How do you think that's going to play for these guys, do you know?
Well, I think that, it all comes down to who gets the rhythm in the heat. And, I know CJ, he's really needs a result. I mean, I think he has 2 33rds back-to-back. And for a guy of his caliber and his past ratings, he's a former world champion. I mean, the guy's obviously everybody knows how gnarly of a competitor he is. And I think he's just had a little bit of a slump here. And by all means, I can guarantee that he's looking to try to better those 2 last results.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, he's all the way down, to 21 in the ratings for CJ, and that's not where he wants to be. He's one of the guys you always expect to be right in there in the top 10, if not the top 5, and contending for that world title. Like you said, he's had a little bit of a slump, a couple of 33rds from CJ. He's paddling now and decides not to go. And like you said, his last 2 events, a 33rd, so a little bit frustrating. He does have a third, I believe, in either Tahiti or Tavarua this year. So he has one good result. And Mundaka is the type of wave where CJ, when you start talking about the left here, he's one of the names that comes up as a threat to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you on that. He's, I think he's just had a lot of tough breaks this year. I know he lost to a close friend of his, Bobby Martinez, in Tahiti, and at that point he was one of the most informed surfers in the event. And it just so happened the way the draw went, he came up against Bobby Martinez, who ended up winning the event. So it's a tough year, and everybody's good. Everybody's so good now, and heats are so close, and you never know who you're going to meet in the draw. And obviously in this heat, he's got Victor Ribas, who's a former world number 3, the highest rated ever Brazilian.
Yeah, and this is really good conditions for Victor too, because it's smaller lefts right now. The winds come onshore. He's really quick and fast, and you look at the ratings over the past few years, and you think, well, CJ is a huge favorite in this heat. But really, it's a pretty evenly matched heat in these conditions. As we see a shot of Mick Fanning psyching up here. Check this, Dino. You can see a
little wave on the inside there. It's dry at the moment.
He's got the tunes going. Mick Fanning, he's getting in the zone here. You can see that bank is the one we've been surfing behind him on the high tide. So Mick Fanning, we've been talking a lot about him. Parco already did his job. Mick, one of the most informed surfers in Europe so far. He's
just
coming up.
Blistering form that kid's been in. I mean, he's dismantled Kelly Slater in the last 2 times they've met. And he met Kelly Slater in the semifinals at J-Bay, dismantled him, and went on to win that event. And then led the last event last week. He dismantled him again at the Quicksilver Pro in Hossegor.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt. And I saw an interview with Kelly, and he was like, "Wow, these." Joel and Mick have really found their form. It took them till the midway mark to really find. Of course, Mick won at J-Bay. Joel won last week up in France. So, at the start of the year, you're a betting man. Of course, you're picking those 2 to contend for the title. And sure enough, here they are. 3 events to go. They're right in the hunt. As we're looking at a shot of C.J. Hobgood now, waiting patiently out the back. He's up against Victor Ribas. No action so far in this heat. Once again, a slow start.
Yeah, it's definitely tide's doing some moving up at the moment, and hopefully we'll get some good surfing conditions. But at the moment there is a lull, which brings me to all you spectators online. I'd like to welcome you all, and this is the 2006 Billabong Mundaka Pro, and there's a shot of the revved up sports car, Mick Fanning, waiting for his heat. And that guy, man, wow,
that guy's a specimen. He's like one of those guys. like a horse race. You bring out the freaking the trophy athlete, just stroll him out, and go. He is one of the fittest athletes in the world. I'd put him up against any athlete,
the breeder,
someone like a Lance Armstrong or all those. They think of the heaviest, gnarliest athletes in the world you could think of, and I guarantee he would match up with any one of them. The guy's fit.
Yeah, I think we've all been waiting for him to hit his stride, and nonetheless, he's done it in the last 4 events. He's just been on fire, alongside with Joel Parkinson and Andy Irons as well. Obviously, he got third in the last event, and he's quietly just sitting in the third position, not really, just kind of cruising, and you can bet he's going to come out firing as well.
Yeah, without any doubt. I think we're close to an interview with Bruce Irons. I know GT's revved up downstairs. Take it away, GT.
Bruce, you almost avoided me there. I was feeling a little lonely. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, don't worry. You sleep on the job.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time. Okay, let's talk about the heat. The 917 made the difference. That was the heat.
Yeah, we were waiting for waves like Joel's heat. It was perfect. Our heat went flat and then went on shore. So, I got lucky in that little barrel because a lot of them were crumbling, and that was definitely the difference in the heat.
Well, here we go. Let's take a peek really quick. CJ versus Victor, and neither of them go. Here we go. We got another wave behind us. That must be hard, and if they go, we'll jump in and get the call. But it must be hard. Here we go. Okay, red with the paddle. That would be Mr. CJ. And CJ is up and going. Oh, late drop into a bit of a cave. He's not making that one.
Devil win.
And that's the thing, is the conditions change here so quick. Parco's heat, sheet glass, unbelievable, and now it's turned on shore. Okay, here we go. Victor Ribas up and running. Late takeoff. He's in a pit as well, but he's not going to make it. But how is that? As you're standing on the beach prior to going out, and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting a 10-second barrel right now. And then it kind of turns double win.
Yeah, I went from, thinking about getting barrels, then you got to change it up and start doing moves. I want to get barrels, but, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, brother's got to do what he's got to do, and you're into I think that's the 4th round, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Pretty big deal. Let's keep it going.
Okay, well, congratulations, Bruce. Thanks. Listen up, and I bet you we won't see you again today, but if I do, I'll be looking for you, bud. All right, boys, back to you.
Thanks, GT. So, interesting comments there from Bruce. When CJ dropped into that wave, you heard him say devil wind. What he meant by that was that's what the famous up the face wind, which is one of the most difficult winds when you're surfing a wave like this, when it's blowing up the face at you. CJ and Victor with a beautiful set there, neither of them able to capitalize. In these man-on-man heats, it's real interesting. There's no priority. You saw CJ, what he was doing there is he was trying to get Victor to commit to that first wave, but also keep him too deep so Victor would fall in the barrel and then CJ would get the bomb behind. But what happened, Victor didn't bite, he didn't take the wave, held his inside, and then let CJ go on the second one. They were both too deep and missed opportunity there. Big giant set wave. 3 of them peeled down the point, and neither of them get a score. But now there's priority.
Yeah, that first one, I think they both hassled each other right out of the lineup. I mean, the first one peeled alone, and actually that was the better wave out of the 2. I mean, our 3 actually. But as you can see, like you said, it's an interesting point. The way that CJ went on, had he had a little bit more time to be a little bit more on the shoulder and not be pushed so fast, he might have been able to make it through that tube.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt that CJ would have made that wave had he been able to position himself where he wanted to. Here goes, I believe, Victor Ribas, or is this CJ? That's CJ in the red. This wave looks nice, Dino. Nice wally punch.
Oh, man! Just a gigantic punch from CJ Hobgood.
He kind of landed that thing, too, and didn't quite. He kind of got back up and then fell. Let's see, he's checking his board, making sure it's not broken there. You can see the water photographers. And the one thing you got to love about CJ, Dino, is the go-for-it attitude there. Just first turn of his first wave in the heat. A lot of time's ticked off already as well, and he goes for the huge error.
Yeah, it looked like he landed pretty flat on that. That was a dangerous landing for sure. I mean, obviously the board in jeopardy, but obviously as well as his body. I mean, he landed with absolutely no transition, just in the flats.
Yeah, and here we go. Let's watch the replay. CJ Hobgood pumping down the line here. He's setting this thing up. Comes off the bottom here. You can see him focusing on the lip. Where's the launch ramp? There it is. No grab, Dino.
Missing the lip. See, he missed where he would have landed. If he would have landed on top of the lip, he might have been able to
wait a
cushion
second,
back.
He's still got his feet on there. Look at this determination. He's right there. You see him go down. He was still standing for a second there, and incredible replay there from CJ. That was incredible. Whatever you want to say, that was an amazing error by CJ.
Yeah, if you notice on the air, he went up above the lip, and then usually they land on the lip to cushion the landing. He missed the landing and went into the flats and landed completely flat. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a buckle on the bottom of his board. And,
yeah, you saw him look real quick on the bottom of his board because I thought it was going to be broken there.
Most important thing is obviously his health, and on that he had a chance to buckle a knee or twist an ankle, but nonetheless he just went for it. Went for broke on that last turn there, Mike.
Well, it's all on the line here. I mean, it's go for it or go home. Really, you got to do the big maneuvers and the opportunities there. CJ had to go for it. We see Timmy Reyes. He's got a heat coming up here. The young surfer from Huntington Beach had an amazing heat about a week ago. In the first, I believe, the first heat of the event or second heat on that very opening day. Timmy Reyes really in form on his backside. You can see him changing his wax here on the patio here at Mundaka, enjoying himself in the sun.
Well, you gotta love Timmy Reyes' approach. The kid just surfs so much. You can it just shows in his personality. He just loves the sport of surfing, and I mean, man, he's just he's such a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, he is, and you notice he's. People might be wondering why is he changing his wax? Right before his heat. Well, there's that moment where. The wax gets too flat and starts to push away. So a lot of guys like to go with a real fresh wax job and get those perfect little beads, for the heat. Maybe you step into it once or twice before your heat starts, one or two rides, or I'm sure he might stand on the sand, get that perfect wax job. And all those little subtleties are sometimes the things that make a difference in when you're really on or not.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have to think about the dynamic of fresh water, too, moving out of the river mouth here at Mundaka. It does have a component of freshwater feel out there, and I've noticed that it's a little bit different, and the wax is a little bit different, and even the flow on the wave, your board floats differently. It's a very unique spot. I mean, this is a humongous river mouth, and there's a crazy amount of freshwater in the lineup, Mike.
So speaking of wax, almost all the guys use tail traction. A few of them don't, like Aki, but Timmy Reyes there, you can see out of tail pad. But what texture of wax or what are you going with here? Everyone's got their color, right? If you're talking sex wax, you got blue, which is the super gnarly hard stuff for tropical water. Then you've got the red, which is the warm water everyone uses in Hawaii. Then orange is the call for here.
I think orange is the most consistent.
Right now. Yeah, and then green's a little softer, and then they got that purple stuff. And here we go, Dino. This is Victor Ribas in the yellow. This looks like a pretty good wave.
Wow, Victor just driving through that first section, and that's an interesting choice of maneuvers. He plowed through that first section and trying to assure himself into that next part of the wave, and nonetheless a couple nice snaps and a floater, and out the back looks like CJ Hobgood, Mike.
A big floater from CJ gets caught behind. Victor, having priority there, was able to choose the good wave that held up for three big maneuvers. That's going to be the highest score of the heat so far from Victor Ribas. It's going to put Damian Hobgood behind the 8 ball a little bit. A couple of nice maneuvers there from the Brazilian surfer Victor Ribas.
Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier, each heat's going to have a different strategy, and it looked like Victor Ribas on that wave, that first section, he didn't really unload in that first section. He seemed like he pushed through it and tried to gain his momentum and drive through that first section in order to guarantee maneuvers on the end section. Whereas,
and I think it was a really good choice because the way that wave tapered off, that first maneuver, you could see him looking down the line. Like you said, he kind of plowed through it, really long, huge floater, and was able to finish it with two big turns. And now out the back, CJ's having a look here, Dino. He's on a pretty good-looking wave here. It's a smaller wave, but it's a clean one.
Oh, nice snap off the top from CJ Hobgood as he pumps down the line. Another big floater, double pump rock and roll. Man, that first turn was through quite a bit of spray, and it's going to be interesting. That
was a close exchange.
Very similar waves there.
CJ's having a hard look at his board. I think he might have issues with his board after that error.
Well, there you go.
He keeps looking at the bottom of it and wondering what's going on. We'll see if he goes to a caddy. He's going to get on the ski in a minute. Right now we're watching a shot of the spectators on the cliff, and now we're back to CJ. And let's see if he jumps on the ski. He does. You see Gary Elkerton there, our water patrol, driving the ski. You see CJ jump on the back. Apparently his board's okay. And here's the replay, Dino, of Victor Ribas.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, see how he's pumping down the line on that wave? He's not really, and right here he does a snap, but it's really kind of parallel to the wave. He never really redirects, trying to gain momentum and keep his speed going through down the line. And that one's a little bit more critical. Lip rides that thing, kind of air launches off of it.
A lot more critical in that second one. The first turn really just to get him to that second point, Dino, and the second turn was really the money turn, and you see the nice finish there. Bit of emotion there. He was definitely stoked. And, well, scores dropping through. Victor got the better of that exchange, Dino, a 5.5, and CJ with the 4.67. So right now, very close. Out the back, up and riding. Victor Ribas from Brazil in the yellow. He gets stuck behind. So nothing really happening here, Dino. Nothing of consequence. No big scores yet at the halfway mark. A couple of okay scores for each surfer. Really kind of an even heat so far.
Yeah, you know, from the looks on CJ's face, he looked pretty serious. Like he wants some action here.
Yeah, and here he goes. Let's take a look. This is his last ride. He drops in, comes off the bottom here, looking down the line. Nice bottom turn there, and this is the snap. Whips it right there. A lot of spray. Still looking down the line. Nice kind of setup turn there. Here comes the big floater. Projects down the line, lands clean. Still looking for the real big maneuver here. Comes off the bottom. Throws it up there, does a little bit of a rock and roll, drops the tail first. Really nice landing there.
Well, that was an some interesting scoring there. Yeah, it looks like CJ's got some issues, Mike. He's serious.
I think he's wondering about priority, or I'm not sure who has priority, or he's trying to get the time. But
looks like his board's broke, and he needs some assistance from his caddy, Mike.
Well, we've been calling it, so there you go.
That wasn't a hard one to call. I mean, he landed in the flats.
His brother's probably running around getting his board. He's got quite a bit of time. He's got 12 minutes to go. It's been a really this kind of year for CJ. You know, the luck has not gone his way, and right now he's behind in this heat. He only needs a 2.1. This is really interesting. You know, you got about 12 minutes to go. His board's broken. You see Bobby Martinez behind Mick Fanning running with CJ's board as we see Mick Fanning getting ready for the next heat. You saw Bobby Martinez run out of the shot with CJ's board. He's going to meet him at the top of the river here. You can see CJ paddling over to the sandbar. Bobby's going to throw it off the there's like the entrance to the harbor. He's going to be at a position where he can throw it down to CJ.
Man, I love CJ's passion. He's just he's so competitive. He wants it bad right now, Mike. And
look at him. He's yelling at Bobby to hurry up, waving his arms. Well, he's going to jump on the ski. There goes Elko. He's throwing the ski into. He was in reverse there. Here he comes. Gary Elkerton, our water patrol. Elko's not scared to go fast.
Well, I can tell you what, CJ's not scared much either.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy paddles into 15-foot choker.
You see a great shot here, Dino. There's Bobby Martinez. He's on the tip of the harbor here. A bit of drama going on in this heat. He throws the board. You can see that's actually the entrance to the harbor here at Mundaka. And I'm actually staying around the corner there, Dino. And every day I've been jumping in and paddling all the way down to the peak out of this harbor. Beautiful shot there of, this place so spectacular, Mundaka, the backdrop. You know, look at all these old Spanish buildings. It truly is one of the most incredible spectacle places I've ever seen in my life. The city's just spectacular.
It's gleaming with culture, this town, isn't it? I mean, it's just really deep-rooted. It's just got something really special about this place.
It definitely does. Here goes Victor, Dino. Up and riding, Victor Ribas. This is the water angle here. Comes around the section, throws it up off the lip, comes around. He's got a clean face here.
Nice snap off the top.
Big opportunity for Victor to increase his lead. He's flying down the line. A lot of wave left here, and bangs it off the top. A nice finishing move there, Dino.
Wow, well, it looks like there's a set out the back, Mike, and you know, obviously Victor's last wave is going to put CJ in a situation where he's going to need a wave. But
CJ's out the back, Dino. There's a huge set. Can he get in the lineup? He got out there as fast as he can. He's really deep on this one. He's going to go. He could be in the barrel. He's going to be way too deep.
Yeah, he needed to be a little bit farther on the shoulder on that, but nonetheless, a good try for CJ to just go for it. He might have. It seems like he might have wanted to paddle over that one to get this next one, but nonetheless, he had to go for it, Mike.
Well, he thought he was far enough down the bank. He had to go for it, and, you know, these waves just firing down the line, and that was really unfortunate for CJ. One of these waves would have got him right back in the heat. Victor Ribas was able to capitalize. So just like that, CJ's luck, not very good in this heat. He spent that time getting the other board, and just when he was doing that huge set came. He was able to get back into the lineup in time to get away, but he was a little too deep. We'll wait for the scores of Victor's last wave.
Well, with 9 minutes remaining, just over 9 minutes remaining, there's plenty of time for CJ to get back out the back, have priority, and have an opportunity.
We can see him taking a look at this board here.
And don't tell me you broke another one, Mike, please.
He's taking a hard look. You can tell he could be a little frustrated there. If he broke another one, boy, Bobby would have to turn around and get another one and run back. But
Bobby would probably grab his own board by then,
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing with these guys. Most of them travel with about 10 to 15 boards. They break them like potato chips every day. And
it ain't like the old days, one board bag for 2 months, right, Mike?
That stuff doesn't fly anymore. These guys, the boards are so light. I mean, most of them around 6 pounds glass with basically 1 4-ounce on the deck and 1 4-ounce on the bottom. So, some of the guys, like Taj's board's a bit stronger with the
new fire
boards. Yeah, he's been saying what he loves most about them is the fact that they never break on him.
Yeah, he's super excited about the look and feel of those new boards he's riding.
Yeah, so Victor, he capitalizes there, 5.77. Interesting, Dino. Now CJ needs a 6.6. So despite everything that's gone wrong, luck-wise, for CJ, he's really in this heat. He's out the back. He probably has priority because Victor had the last wave.
I think he does have priority, Mike.
We're not too sure because we can't see upstairs. But anyway, CJ in a great position, still only needing a 6.6. That's a good score, and it's difficult to get in these conditions with it being a little bumpy, but certainly one CJ is capable of getting if he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, that last wave Victor was on seemed like a pretty good opportunity, but he never really unloaded.
Not until the last turn was pretty good. Got his tail above his head as we see a shot there. The two surfers in the water right now from the USA, CJ Hobgood up against the Brazilian Victor Ribas. Both goofy foots, very evenly matched heat here, and not a whole lot in it. Some mid-range scores, and CJ is the one that's going to have to get busy at the moment. He needs a 6.67 to turn this heat. Dino, this is one of those heats that's going to come down to the last exchange.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope for some more opportunities for both these surfers. It started off kind of slow, but then there was a bit of drama through the middle, and let's hope for a good end.
A lot of drama, and I like those shots of the Water Patrol picking them up and Bobby running down. A lot of drama here at Mundaka right now in this heat. CJ Hobgood broke his board, or it wasn't broken all the way. As here we go, live action, up and riding. Here is CJ on a nice-looking wave.
Oh, nice snap off the top from the youngster from Florida, CJ Hobgood. And another big snap, and it looks like he's getting his stride going. He might see something big. Oh, man, that was close.
God, the level of commitment there, Dino. I mean, I just love the way. I mean, he was already at the point where he was really close to the score, and he wanted to nail it. It was like, I'm going for this move. I'm going to make it. I'm going to win this heat. He didn't make the maneuver. The score is going to be really close, but you got to love the commitment there. And in his mind, he needed to do an air on the end of that wave to win this heat, and he went for it.
Yeah, you could see it coming, couldn't you, Mike? I mean, he looked like he was pumping down the line. He knew that he had to do something big. I think he might even did a mute grab or something. He looked like he grabbed with his right arm and grabbed the outside rail. I mean, probably be able to see better on the replay. But
yeah, I thought he was going to make that. He was set up so nicely for it. He had a series of really good turns. I mean, the score he's looking for is 6.6. Had he made that error, no doubt he got the score. So he calculated that in his head, went for the maneuver, was unable to make it. We don't know what he got yet. The score's going to be real close.
CJ's in the bay taking off there, Mike.
Here he goes. He's racing down the line. A lot of speed, a lot of wave left here. He goes for the air.
Oh, man, that wave ran off pretty long down the line. I mean, that was a pretty risky maneuver, but nonetheless, that is what the criteria asks for, taking risks and commitment.
The other thing about that, Dino, is he was so far down the line when he took off. I don't think he was going to get the score unless he did something like that. From where he took off, you got to realize where Victor's picked off his high-scoring waves up at the top of the sandbar. So we see a shot of Bobby Martinez there. He's through to the next round already. A couple of new tattoos on his back there.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're new, but
that looks like CJ's supporting cast there. I'm sure his brother's right around there close as well, Damian Hobgood, who we'll see later in round number 3. Damian Hobgood is in heat number 15 of this round. We might not be able to get to that heat with the tide coming in today, but nonetheless, both Hobgoods are both still in round number 3, and there is only 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, Dino, that score came through for CJ at a 6-1-7, so close. He didn't make the air, didn't get the score. We kind of figured that's what was going to happen, but he helped his situation. Now he only needs a 5.10, a real average ride. The only question is, will he have time? He's paddling back out as fast as he can.
Well, there he goes. He's at the back riding on what looked like a wave to kind of put him back into the lineup, Mike.
Yeah, well, as I said that, he obviously took a jet ski ride around the sandbar here and entered it from the back corner. So he's back in the lineup. He's got a little bit of time to go. The 3-minute mark, a lot of pressure. Now we're really going to see the priority come into play, because Victor has priority. He has the lead. He's going to sit a little wider as CJ and try to play a little bit of a cat and mouse. He's probably going to try to hold him off when a set comes. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you can almost guarantee if CJ gets an average wave, he's going to try something really big and try to stick it.
Well, the thing here is Victor's sitting, about 30 feet wide of CJ. CJ's actually in a deeper position. So if CJ takes off and Victor's on the shoulder of the wave, he's going to have to give way to Victor and kick out and hope that there's a wave behind it. So if you're Victor, you're obviously hoping that set doesn't come. If you're CJ, you need a couple of waves in the set, being the fact that you're holding second priority.
Yeah, I think the boys are going to put up a CJ clip here.
Yeah, we'll wait for that, and maybe we'll be able to analyze the subtleties that you can't really see from way up here. It happens so fast. But CJ, certainly one of the guys that's known for his airs and really creative surfer, does stuff that I don't even understand at times. Yeah, so here we go. We'll queue up a CJ air for you, all you viewers, to check out in just a second. Right now you're looking at a shot of the island out here at Mundaka in the background of the lineup. Actually, some waves out there sometimes, Dino. There's a right-hander that peels down the inside of the island and a big right on the tip of it that I actually got to toe surf one time. It's pretty amazing, kind of like Sunset Beach.
Lucky you, Mike.
You wake up in the morning and
I'm surfing today. I try not to surf too much. Try not to go out and get good waves. If I'm a later heat, just kind of like squiggle around. Just get comfortable with the water. And sometimes if I do go for a surf, I almost don't even want to catch good waves because I know I got to save those for my heat. And then just watch the conditions. Definitely stretch. Try not to get too many things in your head. If you just want to kind of like be stoked where you're at, live in the moment, pace yourself, and then when your heat's coming up, just get psyched up and just know that you're gonna go out there and catch the best waves, and the best waves are gonna come to you, and just go out there and give it a go.
Well, some interesting comments there from CJ. What he does in his downtime, says he doesn't want to get too many good waves. He wants to save himself for these kind of moments. Dino, his back's really against the wall here. There's 1 minute to go. And it looks like the ocean's pretty calm, and he needs only a 5.10. Victor Ribas in the lead.
It's strange the fact that he got a 6.17 on that wave, that he fell on that big aerial on the closeout maneuver. Had he just went for a big blast or a closeout bang, he might have been right in the hunt for that score, Mike. What do you think about that? Is that a fair call or not?
I think it's a totally fair call. I think if he would have if he would have skimmed the lip right there, I think he would have won the heat. But in his mind, he needed to go a little bit bigger than that, so he went for the air. if you're as good as him at sticking those and how good he was set up, I think that you really got to go for it, which is exactly what he did. And here he goes. He's on a medium-sized to small wave, and now we're going to see him do something spectacular to try to get that score. A couple of floaters. He's stuck behind. Does a 360 foam climb, and he's doing everything he can do, but I think that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, it didn't look like it.
Well, he only needs a 5.1 though, and he did 2 floaters and a kind of a carved 360 off the whitewater. And
but your first gut reaction was
my first gut is he didn't get it, and he didn't get it. He got a 3.